What's up, Starcraft fans? Patch 4.11.4 not only came with a bunch of new changes to commanders, it also came with new mutations lined up for us. So, if you want to read this, I made a post on the battle.net forums. I will have the link in the description or the comments. If you want to read it directly yourself, just click the link and go right there. Otherwise, you can, help me support the channel by watching through this video. Let's see, another few months worth of mutations. Fun fact, in this set, every single map in the co-op pool makes one appearance, exactly one. First we have Dance Dance Evolution on missed opportunities with Moment of Silence, Speed Freaks, and Transmutation. And its equivalent is Brutal +4. Transmutation makes yet another appearance, and this is the primary reason this is Brutal +4. Commanders who don't lose units easily should not need to worry about Moment of Silence until the 15 minutes and 30-second attack wave, or the third set. Kerrigan, Swan, Zagara, Abathur, Alarak, Nova, Dehaka, Tychus, and Zeratul should all be excellent options here. Commanders like Raynor, Han and Horner, and Arcturus should consider massing tankier units like battlecruisers. Raynor's spider mites in particular will be even more effective because of Speed Freaks. As long as you and your ally are on point, this should be doable. Doesn't sound too bad, to me at least. Next we have Trade of Pain on Oblivion Express with Double-Edged, Going Nuclear, and Mutually Assured Destruction. Double-Edged really brings out the pain for this mutation. Since the traits have tens of thousands of health, I guess this is the one where the buffs to Kerrigan's Dude Lords and Caracas units will really be tested. Spider Mines, Griffin Airstrikes, and the Spear of Odin will all be great here. Banelings, Storm Hosts, and Roaches Awai from the Mecha Infestors will all be excellent. Mind Control might be a great option for Vorzun, Tychus, and Zeratul. This might also be a great map to spam Arcturus' ghosts if the tactical missiles don't damage the ghost or the nuke silo, although I have been informed down the thread that the nuke missiles, the tactical missiles, do in fact damage the Emperor's Shadows. I'll have to test that for myself, but if that is true, then yeah, it might not be a great idea to go for the Emperor's Shadows after all. But again, I'll test that. Resilient Rifts on Rifts to Core Hall with Just Die and Void Rifts. Rating Brutal +5. You can see it, yeah. The rating, by the way, is based on the rating system that Blizzard themselves implemented, and I'm just going through the point systems that they allotted each of these mutators. As far as I know, the Void Rifts don't respawn. That being said, this is still the first Brutal +5 mutation we've seen in a long time. Raynor, Kerrigan, Swan, Zagara, Carax, Abathur, and Han and Horner all have great options to fight the Void Rifts. A bonus here is that once you clear the middle area, you should have easy access to most of the Void Rift spawn locations. You can also choose to cheese the shards with battlecruisers, tempests, the laser drill, and Earthsplitter ordnances. It should be a challenging but interesting week. I mean, it's Brutal +5, but compared to some of the ones down the line, I think this one is this was going to be relatively less irritating, relatively. Next we have Silent Killer on Scythe of Amon with Black Death, Outbreak, and We Move Unseen. I can already feel the pain from Vorzun. She has historically been screwed over by Black Death because of her Death Recall, which recalls almost dead units back to the main nexus. And when they die with still Black Death, they will usually infect workers and cause the entire mineral line to be infected with Black Death and, make her lose her whole entire economy. That being said, pairing her with Kerrigan will do the trick, as her Benevolent Creep will out-heal the Black Death on workers. Abathur will have a more painful time than usual, since his ultimate evolutions will not out-heal Black Death, and he needs to see where the cloaked enemies are for the Toxic Nest luring. Same deal for Dehaka. Everyone will need early detection to work here. Next we have Called a Comeback on Temple of the Past with Avenger, Eminent Domain, and Just Die. Another Brutal +4. Can't seem to get a break with this set. There is nothing below Brutal +4 so far. The good news is that there's nothing super irritating about this week. No Black Death or double-edged at least. I think most commanders can still handle this mutation, though commanders with spawn camp options like Rainer, Abathur, and Swan are more likely to produce super duper air hybrid that rush straight for the temple. Gotta watch out for those. This might also be a good time to try out Zagara's new bio launchers. We shall see. Next we have Explosive Hunt on part and parcel with Minesweeper and Slim Pickings. Brutal +4. Just to get resources, players need to roam the map that's littered with Widow Mines and Spider Mines. It looks super painful. Commanders like Nova, Kerrigan, Zeratul, Tychus, Stetboy, and Swan might have options here, but the expensive army commanders are super screwed, since not only does it take longer to get to that army, it is also much easier to lose if they wander into a stray Widow Mine or two. Calling it now, this will be one of the most hated mutations of the set. Me included, because I don't need to do this once. I need to do this for many commanders. So once I get to pairs like, I don't know, maybe Alarak and something, Alarak and Phoenix, this might get super painful to do. But yeah, I'm not looking forward to this one in particular, especially since trying to talk while playing with Slim Pickings and trying to avoid the mines at the same time, really super painful. Let's get to the next one. Tax Day on Void Launch with Fear and microtransactions. Finally! We get one that's below Brutal +4, but this one seems irritating for micro-based commanders. I imagine guys like Stukov, Karak, Swan, and Arcturus to just tear it up. Stetboy can still mass infestors and take out the shuttles with free units. That being said, once the extra mining bases have been cleared, it could get easier for the rest of the commanders to max out and then no longer worry about microtransactions, because once you're maxed out and have no risk of losing your army, you can just micro as much as you please. And even though it costs a lot, once you run out of money, you will not have to spend anything. As a bonus, once you're maxed out, you don't need to make anything anymore. So yeah, just max out and no longer worry about microtransactions. Next we have Aggressive Recruitment on Metal Warfare with Poopagators, Speed Freaks, and We Move as Scene. I might have spoken too soon, guys, with one of the most hated, although I didn't say it would be the most hated. I said it would be one of the most hated, so I think it still holds true. This, we get 1 week of reprieve. 1 week. We get thrown right back into the fire. We have fast, cloaked Poopagators coming to our bases, and we literally cannot stop them from spawning, since these suppression towers count as enemy buildings, and so the towers, even after we clear them, will spawn Poopagators. If your army is all the way at the final terminal, and the poop suddenly spawns at the first suppression tower near your base, you're basically screwed if you have no mobility options. Most commanders have the means to tech out the poops, but again, fast, cloaked poops mean the players must be on their toes the entire game. They need to have detection, and they need to have fast reactions to take out the Poopagators, snipe them down. Next we have Scary Scavengers on Dead of Night with Outbreak and Slim Pickings. Slim Pickings on Dead of Night has made for some interesting strategies. For one, you can completely vacate your base and camp either the northeast corner or one of the high ground locations to funnel all the enemies into 1 or 2 entrances, or cheese the structures using earth splitters or precision strikes. Or you can float away to the corner and slowly destroy the buildings using top bars. Any of these should work, although it's generally easier just to end the map, since the infested will continuously spawn from Outbreak and will start to lag the map later on. Next we have Call of the Void on Void Thrashing with Void Reanimators and Void Rifts. The fact that both Brutal +5 mutations in this set so far have only 2 mutations is pretty insane. It's pretty insane. This just speaks to how many points the Void Rifts rack up. And this one in particular is one blizzard short of being cold as the Void. It has 2 of the 3. That being said, there are a lot of commanders with great options versus both mutators. You can choose to defend the entrances and cheese the thrashers with earth splitters. You can even get fancy with baiting 4 Void animators to the back of the base and caging them there. It's been done before, but with Void Roots it might not be as easy as that. Of course, everything here, like I said, is easier said than done. Next we have In the Name of Love. I wonder if it's a reference to it's probably a reference to anything. That sounds like a stupid name for this. On Cradle of Death, with concussive attacks, Purifier Beam, and Time Warp. I can't believe after all that insanity we're actually going to get a brutal +1 mutation. This map is Cradle of Death and it's hated by many. So maybe this is some sort of campaign to get it less hated. I mean, it is a brutal +1. Even though the trucks will probably be slowed down if you have them too far out. It's still brutal +1 at the end of the day. It's just a bunch of irritating stuff. The main point seems to be to slow your forces down enough that the Purifier Beam will consume them all. Though there's still nothing that's stopping Arcturus from just cheesing this with Earth Splitters, or Kerrigan from just baiting the Purifier Beam with Omega Worms. Still, we get a relatively easy week after the gauntlet of insane mutators. So yeah, that's still a win. Next we have Locked and Loaded on Lock and Load with Killbots, Mineral Shields, and Temporal Field. And this one is rated Brutal +3. The key to finish this mutation, the key is to finish this mutation as quickly as possible. The more you drag it out, the more Killbots you will need to feed. Abathur is the undisputed best commander for this mutation because of Toxic Nest Luring and Ultimate Evolutions. His ally's work will probably be to keep the Killbots fed or something, you know. Abathur can also feed the Killbots himself, but maybe just give his allies something to do, I don't know. The rest can still manage as long as they clear the map quickly. Hero-based commanders will have an easier time because the mineral shields won't disrupt them as much, but even an economy-based commander can just put stuff in their bases, such as static defense, to kill the mineral shields. So again, brutal +3, but I'd still rather take this than the brutal +1 Cradle of Death. It seems just faster to do. The map matters, guys. Of mines and miners on miner evacuation with Magnificent, Minesweeper, and Missile Command. So many M's. Mines and miners, miner evacuation, Magnificent, Minesweeper, Missile Command. So many M's, guys. Brutal +4. The 2-week rest will be nice while it lasts. Trying to clear a path to the ships will be hellish here. There's also the added task of having to defend versus the missiles. It'll probably be an offense-defense type thing with the commanders, as the guy who had better static defense usually doesn't have great scouting or mine clearing options. Abathur's gonna have a harder time than usual because the mines will kill his ultimate evolutions faster. I guess the long delay between the second and third ships gives more time for commanders to stabilize versus the mines and missiles. I'm guessing after the first ship, the commanders will use that time to really build up their forces, beef up their defense, and then get ready to defend versus the ships and clear out the mines. Anyway, the League of Vermillions on the Vermillion problem. I guess those who like melons. Evasive maneuvers and heroes from the storm with a brutal +4 rating. I actually haven't tried heroes from the storm on the Vermillion Paradise yet. The first hero takes longer to arrive, but the later waves will arrive more frequently. I also wonder if the crystals themselves will have heroes guarding them. Raw firepower seems to be the key thing here. The faster we kill the enemy heroes, the easier this gets. Of course, the deciding factor for how difficult this mutation really is probably is whether there are enemy heroes with the crystal escorts. For example, 3 crystals spawn for each of the later sets. If there's a hero in each of them, it's gonna be harder. Next up we have Chain Explosion. Oh, it's finally the last one actually. On Chain of Ascension with Lava Burst, Walking Infested, and there's a default here when I data mine this in the editor. Again, guys, if you want to learn how to data mine the map editor for Mutations, I will have the link in the description below. Just feel free to check it out. I feel like there's a missing mutator here. Maybe down the line they'll add self-destruction, since the mutation's name suggests that. Just these 2 mutators put this at brutal +1, so it definitely looks like a brutal +1. if this mutation goes live as it is, it's probably gonna be nice to do a hero solos on this, since it doesn't add any damage output for enemies. Plus the lava bursts are easier to dodge with singular heroes anyway. Yeah, that's gonna be the last one. It's just replies after this. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. If you have an idea for it also do, please leave that in a comment. Again, I will have a link to the to how to mine the mutations in the map editor in the links in the description below. Alright, see you.